All right. I think we are live. So, welcome to Ask Yolessa Anything Intuitive Readings with Yolessa. I'm going to be doing these every Wednesday around this time. I see Sumia as Rao has joined. Hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, for anyone who's just coming in, I'm doing free intuitive reading. So if you have questions, about any particular thing in your life, or even if you have bigger questions, questions that pertain, existential questions or whatnot, please ask me. I'm here to offer you readings and insight into whatever is going to soothe your soul. Uh, all right. Yes, it's good to see you after a long time as well, Samia. So, if you have questions, what you're going to do is you are going to want to just write your questions in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat as they come in. It's first come, first serve. We're going to go live for about 20 minutes here. So I hope I can answer as many questions as possible. So while we're waiting for kind of those questions to come in, we see already we have one here. All right, she's writing. So, hi, unemployed now. Okay, what kind of career field and job opportunities I might get next to start my career? All right. So I assume, Samia, this is you kind of starting, you're thinking I'm starting a career in kind of a new direction. So let's see. So I'm just going to do my usual, taking that breath in and out through the mouth. All right. Let's see here. And I'm just going to go in for a moment. Here, I'm going to take another breath in and out as I kind of go into the reading here. So interesting. So, what I'm getting for you, Samia, like right now, is as soon as I went in, the place kind of in my body that I felt the most was in the heart. And so I feel like you're asking this question, but you're not just asking from like a practical point of view or a material point of view. Or when I say practical, meaning obviously I need a job so that I can go and get, and earn money and survive and all those things. When I went in, I truly felt my heart stirring, and that you have reached a place in your life where you're like, I don't want to just do a job, for money. I want this to have purpose and meaning in life. And that's likely why you asked the question in terms of saying what kind of career. I don't know that you actually uh, wrote purpose in there, but I just feel like what you're really looking for is the path that sets you ablaze in your life purpose, and you're hoping that it can come to fruition through an actual career, right? So this is an intention. You don't want to just work anymore. You want this to make sense, right, and be right in your heart. So let me see here. Um, when I see you, you're such a how can I say, like, loving person. Like, you're really a heart person who really genuinely cares about people and wants to help them from their heart. I would almost peg you for something like a nurse. And I don't know if you did something like that or not. Now, that's not, I'm saying that you should become a nurse. I'm just saying that, and not all nurses maybe are heartwarming, but just the feeling of like caregiving and wanting to help people and being able to see how people are suffering and where they need help. Like, that is a natural strength and quality you have. And when I go in and I see, I like literally, they're showing me your aura and it's like orange. I don't know if you've ever had an aura photo before, but like they're showing me orange and gold. So I know that your spiritual power really comes from your ability to negotiate relationships. And whatever career you get into, what you're going to want to do is to find yourself in a position, Samia, where you can use your strength, that's been given to you from the creator, which is this incredible ability to actually negotiate relationships and to help people. You have a very good sense of boundaries. So you have a very good idea of like when to step in and help people, and you also have a sense to when to step out. And you care about humanity. Like your moral alignment is like very sturdy and right and righteous inside of you, and that needs to find its way into the work. So I see you in positions, whatever you do. It's not so much a career assignment where I'm thinking, where I'm going to say be a lawyer or read this or that. But the nature of the job is going to be one where you, for example, lead teams, or are in a position where you are negotiating the relationships between the people on the teams. So you have to think, oh, like, so, think HR, think any position where it's about getting people to work together, any career where it's about the skill of getting people to be able to work together and be happier and more peaceful in the work environment. That is going to be the kind of work that you become extraordinarily successful at, and that is going to simultaneously feed your soul. So I'm going to leave it at that for you. I think that gives you enough clues as to what kind of next steps or clues you should be looking for. The nature of the job that you should be looking for. And it's not a job. I really want to say it's a career, as you already said. This is a career. All right. So I'm going to welcome others into the live. So we have Healing Jewelry by Kay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lipstick Monk and Colette, and Wizzy Zuri. Welcome, welcome. Azure Adelise. All right. Sedona Meditation Center. Kira Wellness. All right. All right. So for those of you who are just coming in and joining or passing through, this is, live free intuitive readings with Yolessa. So the way this works is if you have questions, they can be questions, personal questions. You can put them in the chat and I will answer them in the order in which they appear. This is really a 20-minute live. So we'll be continuing on until just past 2 o'clock. All right, I see one more question. All right, Wazi Zuri. I'm going to assume your name is Zuri. All right, you have written trying to figure out how to ask this question. Something has happened that has forced me to look at something in my relationship that I've been ignoring. I feel like it happened on this scale because I've been ignoring the small messages for so long. All right, I'm just going to read that one more time. Try to figure out how to ask this question. Okay, something has happened that's forced me to look at something in my relationship that I've been ignoring. All right, feel like it happened on the scale. All right, I get the idea. I think I can work with this, Siri. So let's see. Let's see the messages that come through. So I'm going to do what I do again. I'm going to take my deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Okay, Zuri. So when I go in, I think you're right onto it, as people normally are, because everybody has intuition. Meaning right on in the sense that you're saying like it's happening on this scale because I've been ignoring the signs. So you tend to be somebody who likes to keep the peace in a relationship, and all kudos to you for wanting to keep the peace, except that sometimes conflict is necessary. I want to liken conflict I always like to use this example where, for example, water is rushing down a mountain and hitting rocks, right? And when we see that in nature, we see a waterfall in nature, we're like, oh, that's so beautiful. But we don't really understand that as conflict, and realizing that when the water is coming down and hitting the rock, it's like, a force against the rock, and it has to like shave its way and move around the rock and either in order to keep moving down the mountain in a way from the perspective of the water coming down. The rock is like a kind of obstacle, but because it's water, it knows how to move, to disperse and move around the rock. So, what I'm basically saying is that sometimes conflict is healthy, sometimes it's necessary. But even though we're scared of it, and I can feel you're scared of it because, Zuri, I can feel it eerily likely in your life. You witnessed a lot of conflict, and it created a lot of fear in you, of going into conflict, that's going to result in aggression or other types of, unsalacious behavior is going to happen if you go fully into it. So let me just see. It feels like your partner, the person that you're with, um, is somewhat, how can I say, what is the word I want to use? Really, the word that first came up was neglectful, but I'm not quite sure that that's the word. But I do want to state that, like, I get a lot of visions, and the visions I saw was, you know this person has gotten away with a lot in the relationship, because you haven't like specifically confronted it, and you kind of downplay it. So like their behavior, it's kind of like a child that's like, not being checked. Their behavior in the relationship and some of the things that they do, probably are unsalacious or should not really be happening. And I don't know that it was any one big thing at once. It's like many behaviors, that I would really call kind of maltreatment towards you, or not being considerate, of your needs, etc., were happening a lot over a long period of time, going unconfronted. And I believe you came from the perspective of, if I just please this person or love this person more, then they will love me too. So you're coming from the perspective of, the more love I give, then naturally they would see how, like the nature of my heart, and that I really just want to benefit them, and they would benefit me too. Not so. This is really a learning for you. This is really a learning for you, Zuri. That just because you give a lot doesn't mean the other person is going to meet you in that giving. So let me see here, like what the main, kind of direction message in this is. Like, what is the lesson that needs to be integrated through this experience? It's always the lesson that we want to take away, because the lesson brings us through into, completing the cycle, so we don't have to go through it again. When I feel when I feel my heart, and I go in and I feel my heart, what I feel is, and I can feel, like, even as some of the things I'm saying to you, Zuri, may be hitting your heart, maybe because but like I can feel the heart truly aching. And I feel like this is more about the ability to focus on yourself and your needs, and to ask for what you want, and not to kind of compromise on certain things, and to be so self-interested. And this is not selfishness, but to be so self-interested that you're willing to take the risk of, if the other person really can't meet you in those fundamental needs, that you consider that the situation might not work out. And it doesn't mean it's not going to work out, but you just continually decide to live in a state where, instead of being non-confrontational, you face, the fear that of separation, continuously, even though 9 times out of 10 that doesn't actually happen. But in order to go through the confrontation, you have to continuously face the fear in yourself, even to begin to do the confrontation. And that you and your needs and your happiness can't be compromised, is more important than any of those compromises, that could be happening. So I just feel like this person has taken a little bit of advantage of your kindness, And, the lesson really is about focusing on yourself and putting yourself first. And not to feel any type of ways about doing that. To realize that is the right action, and to put myself first is to love the other person, even though it feels risky, to trust that the love and the return will show up. Remember, you can't attract anything that you aren't already. So if you're not loving yourself, you wouldn't attract a partner who's going to show you that as well. So I'm going to send energy to you. This is likely rooted in some trauma from the past. If you can rid yourself of that fear, you can transform your relationship. Even if currently you can feel like I can't transform it, trust me, you can. If your energy changes, the person will start to respond to you differently. All right. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to go on. We have a few. So I have here. So healing, Julie Beck. Oh, you're right now. Okay. Kiki asks. All right. I'd like to know what you see for me too, please. All right. So, Kiki, did you have a specific question? So this is question based. So you got to ask a question as opposed to just saying, "Oh, what would you like to see for me?" All right. Grace, Cindy, welcome, welcome, welcome. And my name is Life4321. Welcome. So Margaret Ricciardone asks, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I'm very sorry if I'm botching it. Listening while driving home. Any messages for me regarding love or my son with career? Can't believe I caught a lie. All right. Yes, Margaret. So about love or your son. So let's see. So I'm just going to do my regular breath in. I'm going to take that breath in through my nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Margaret. All right. So, Margaret, the first thing that comes to me is actually your love life. When I look at your love life, it feels like you're in a place where you are negotiating. You're either in a relationship and you're renegotiating the terms of the relationship. You're going through renegotiation, realizing the way that things have been in the past is not going to continue in the future, is not going to work for you. Continuing that pattern. Or if you're not in a relationship, this is you like searching or dating, being out there like around the relationship and negotiating literally in the dating process what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. Either way, this is about negotiation, and you have come to a place in your life where you realize like who you are and what you're worth and what you want, and not to back down from that. So I feel like with the message for you with love is simply the validation to you, Margaret, to not back down, because sometimes I feel like in your heart, maybe you get discouraged and start feeling like, if I have these standards, then the love that I want is never actually going to come to me, and I understand it. It's like the old frequency like creeps in, and then you feel discouraged and you have doubt that this can ever happen for you. And I am here to tell you, stick with it. Stick with it no matter what. Stick with it. Stick with it, because it is going to work out for you, whether it is in your current relationship or relationship that is soon to blossom. It's going to work out, meaning you're going to get what you're asking for. It's a little bit of the universe testing you. And when the universe tests us, it's like the universe is saying to us, is this really what you want? Are you sure? It's checking. And I say the universe is doing it, but really we're checking ourselves to be sure, like going through the process of like, yes, I'm absolutely certain that this is, what I want. It's the process of verification. So you're going through the process of verification. Stick with it, Margaret. Things are going to really turn out. So let me just look into your son's situation here a little bit. So I'm just going to take another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. For those of you watching, If you have questions, we have a few minutes left on our live. If you've got questions, you're going to want to write them into the chat. I'll be answering any questions you have, any personal questions, or just even more esoteric questions about what is, about life, understanding yourself better, etc. Any insight that you're looking for, I'm here for you. All right, so Margaret and Margaret's son. So it feels like Margaret. I don't know. Was your? It feels like your son, and I don't know that he communicates this to you, but it feels like he's just going through some heartbreak at the moment. Like literally, I feel heartbreak. I'm like, did he break up with someone? Like, and you might not know. You may know. I don't know. But it just feels like his heart is really, really hurting at the moment. And I don't know if it's from a breakup or the hurting in the heart is coming from some other aspect in his life, but he's just going through some pain in the heart, and that has caused him to like close in a little bit, maybe even display some behavior that one might perceive potentially as depression. But I don't feel that he's truly depressed. I feel he's going through a phase, and he may not. It's kind of like what men do. They go into their cave to fix things, and then they come out when they're fixed. It's like just let him go into cave, and you can hang out the door and you say, I'm here if you need me, and to trust that he's just gonna emerge, when he's fixed, ready. He's going through this kind of thing. So I'm not sure how old your son is, but it feels like he's not tiny. He's not tiny. And doesn't feel like an old man. Somewhere in between, grown up. And he's just going through a phase of he's going through a phase of learning around love, and it's a little painful. All right. All right, so I hope that answers your question, Margaret. So I see, Zuri, you had written, I'm quite fearful as well. Yes, and also that they're hitting my heart. Thank you so much. That's exactly where I am right now. All right, Zuri, I wish you the best. All right, and Kiki has written, so what do you see for my career? All right, Kiki, so I'm just going to take that breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So, Kiki, when I go in, I'm not sure what your work situation is right now, but it feels like you may be going through some conflicts at work a little bit. And when I say conflicts, I don't know that they're outright, but just some tension in relationships with the people in the workplace. And it feels like you are being contested. You're in the right, actually, whatever the situation is. You're in the right. And they feel like this is a primary obstacle to your going further in your career. And it feels like if you stick with it and you don't back down from what you feel like you deserve should happen at work, and you don't back down from expressing yourself and going through this conflict all the way to the end of it, that you're going to succeed and you're going to go further in this aspect or be promoted, or I don't know if it's a promotion, but you're going to go higher. Like, but right now you're going through like a phase of negotiating relationships. Maybe you feel like certain people in the workplace have been deceitful or not honest, working against you, wanting to sabotage you in this element. I'm not exactly certain. And it's like these are just tasks or obstacles you need to get out of your way. So let me try to understand why this is happening. It feels like you're very good at what you do. Can you see? And there's some jealousy that comes with that. So it's a competitive, but you know how to compete. I truly feel you know how to compete. You just got to stay in the competition. You're going to end up on the other side. Things are going to happen for you. And I'm going to leave it there. All right. So I think that's what we got today for our questions, people. So Ooh, it's so fun. I'm glad for all of you that caught me. I will be here next week this time. Tell your friends, get on with us, and I will see you. You can also find out when our lives are by getting on our email list. Go to sedonahealingarts.com and get on our email list so you can find out when I'm live, and you can also find out about other free trainings I do, like our full moon energy healing circle. And get with that. You can find out about all the amazing things that we offer at Sedona Healing Arts to the public, including free readings from our students when you get on that list. Until the next time, everyone, I will see you. I love you and sending you energy from Sedona. All right, bye.